If you're an athlete, it is vital you behave appropriately when competing, whether it's against opposite opponents or an individual. They have to have the correct and proper conduct when performing. You should always have respect for your peers and others. If an athlete has poor conduct and acts inappropriately during competition, it will render their performance useless because they are likely to get banned due to acting so badly, which will impact their career. This will then also give them bad reputation, and for the rest of their playing days will be known as disrespectful and not really looked up to by younger children. Zinedine Zidane in the World Cup final, he headbutted an opponent in such a massive final and proved it to be his last game of his career, because after being banned and charged he retired with immediate effect, and that left him retiring with a bad reputation for himself. This shows how acting appropriately during competitions can affect an athlete's career. If you're an athlete, it is important to have ethics and values in your performance. Ethics are like principles or codes of conduct, playing by the spirit of the game basically. Values are like ideas that form beliefs and actions, like performing to the best of your ability to achieve success for a team or country. This also means having respect for your peers and other mates, other teammates, coaches and spectators. If the player would have gone along with it and accepted the penalty, then in the future this would have been bad for him, as he would not have been trusted. Referees wouldn't have believed him in the future, and because he admitted he dived and turned down the penalty, he's now known for being sort of trustworthy. A good example of when honesty was needed was Argentina versus England on the 22nd of June '86. This was a football match between two big teams in the quarter-finals of the FIFA World Cup. After 51 minutes, Maradona scored a goal with his hand, and Argentina then went on to win the game 2-1 and went on to win the World Cup final over a victory against West Germany. So basically, because he wasn't honest, that then knocked England out the World Cup, and also because he cheated and wasn't honest, that then let him get his team to the final and ended up winning it. So they shouldn't have deserved to have won the World Cup that year. Sports ambassadors. If you're a sport ambassador, then you need to be well behaved, as you're a role model to a lot of kids that want to be athletes. Most sports ambassadors give a lot for charity, help teach kids sports, raise awareness for the sport, and try and do as much as they can. If they're badly behaved, then the children aren't going to want to look up to them, and if they did, then they'd sort of get bad behaviour from them as well. It'd get them into a lot of trouble, it'd give the sports ambassadors a bad reputation, and it'd look bad on the sport. So that's why they have to be really well behaved, because they want children to play their sport. Celebrities in general have a big role in being a role model as well. They have to stay well behaved because, like I said, loads of young kids look up to them as role models. They look up to them and want to grow up to be like them. If they're bad behaved and they're in the papers for doing bad things, then children aren't going to want to, become like them. One person I'm going to talk about is John Terry, for instance. He had an affair with another teammate's girlfriend. This then looked really bad on him, as he was in the paper a lot. He was stripped from his England captaincy, and this led to a lot of his teammates falling out with him. This looked bad if children was looking up to him. Children looked up to him as a great captain, great defender, but after them stupid mistakes and his bad behaviour, that then could have ruined his chances being looked up at as a role model. Aggressive and disruptive fans are a big problem in sport. Spectators behaving in an aggressive or inappropriate way towards the fans, players and officials. They could be put in a bad mood, they could end up putting the players in they could make them react badly, such as Eric Cantona when he lashed out at the person in the crowd. He drop kicked him because the person in the crowd wound him up. Fans could think they're making jokes, making songs about players, but they don't realise what it does to them. Like, it does upset them, and It's not really what we want to see. Whilst training also, as they are trying to prove to their manager that they are able to play in the match. Most teams have to prove themselves in training first before they're able to play in a match. Normally the people who try their hardest in training will get a chance to be in the team because they felt like they've proved themselves. Whereas we've seen from a lot that Balotelli, for instance, he had an argument with his manager during training that ended up getting him out of the team for quite a little while. A lot of people fell out with him for it. He was in the press a lot. Just doesn't look good if children are looking up to him as well. Television covers sport across the same basic areas as radio and operates in the following formats, such as live coverage, pre-recorded coverage, studio-based items, outside broadcast items, news bulletins and documentary programmes. Telly is just a way of letting footballers get their message across. They know they're being watched by so many people around the world. Many thousands and millions of people are watching this game, and footballers know they're being watched. So quite a lot of them, they write messages on their t-shirts or on their vest tops. So if they score, they take their top off and show the message. Or even Steven Gerrard, for instance, he kissed the camera against Man United. He kissed the camera to show how much he sort of loves his fans. He's not just doing it for money or for fame. He does it because he genuinely loves Liverpool. And this video will then show you Balotelli getting his message across. Match officials need to be respected. Players need to respect the match officials. You see a lot of football players nowadays that when they get booked or sent off, they react really badly and get aggressive to the referee. The referee's there, they're doing their job, they're keeping the game under control. When they do make a decision, sometimes they can make a wrong decision, but when they make a decision, players need to just take it and just leave. Most of them get aggressive, they lash out at referees. It's going to make themselves worse because they're going to get banned more off the pitch, they're going to be fined, they'll probably even lose their place in the team. They just need to sort of realise that decision's been made, they need to just go along with it and check it out after the game, not get aggressive about it.